The Runner and Gunner Show. We're running and gunning and saying our thoughts, though we have different minds. At the same time, we bring the thought to help your mind grow in the mental. Give knowledge with advice plus all essentials. So if you haven't heard, then act like you know. It's the Runner and Gunner Show. Runner and Gunner Show. The Runner and Gunner Show. Gun.
Right now?
All right, everybody.
It's Wednesday, and we love you guys every day. So let's have a beautiful Wednesday, and this is how we go down. The Runner Gunner Show is ready and going, it's steady and flowing. So listen up really close to your ears. Don't let them bleed. Proceed only.
All right,
and we're talking about the Rolling Stones fighting back in the 80s. And what is that all about, Gunner?
So I guess apparently the Rolling Stones, they didn't get along too well in the 80s.
With
each other. Keith Richards and Mick Jagger were fighting.
Did you say Mick Jagger or Jagger?
Oh, sorry. Let me rewind that. That's the Grolsch.
Mickey Mouse?
Mick Jagger.
Jiggy. Get
Michael,
jiggy with it. Na.
Mr. Michael J. was fighting with Keisha.
Okay, Keisha.
Mr. Richards. Mr. Michael J. was fighting with Mr. Richards.
Okay, so what you're talking about
in the 80s.
Whoa.
That's what happened. Mr. Michael J. did not like Mr. Richards
KJ.
in the 80s. So he said, hey, Mr. Richards,
KR?
how about you go shove it? And Mr. Richards says, well, why don't you go get knighted again? He was mad about a lot of things, but mainly...
And MJ did not touch
just
No, MJ was the man.
In years of, being on the road, and they were just tired.
Tired of what?
Each other, apparently.
Yeah,
Because Mick Jagger started his own solo career in the 80s, and so did Keith Richards.
So you're talking about MJ and Carr.
It lasted the entirety of the 80s.
Carr.
Yeah, they both bought individual cars after that.
Capping random people? No, KR. Keeping it real. Keep real.
When keeping it real goes bad.
That's his name. KR is keeping it real. So keeping it real used to go bad because
KR
what
do you think about
Keith
when
Richards,
keeping it real goes bad?
And he used to inject in his veins. Tell us about it again.
Well, basically, I always kept it real when I, ate a cactus and, shoot ice here.
That's keeping it real with you guys. KR, just like Keith Richards is keeping it real. Woo!
Keith Richards was trying to keep it real, but Mr. Michael J. was not trying to keep it real because,
Who is Michael J., to be honest?
Michael Jagger. Mr. Michael J. Jagger.
Is that his real name? Yes, it is.
His real name is Michael.
Michael Jagger.
Mick Jagger's real name is Michael.
So Miguel Jagger used to get down with and he used to get down with all his tracks and just like KR, I don't know, keeping it real guy, he was cool too, and he used to keep it real with his freaking vein, and his vein kept it real with his mind. And so back then in time in the 60s,
he was on heroin.
In order to keep it real, you had to freaking play like you were nobody else. You got to play like you were the madman, keeping the house awake.
Michael J. was
and
way better
everybody was keeping it down. And Keith was the master.
The master at it.
Michael
J. How could you be better than the master? Well, Michael J. figured it out.
And he took it back to his home. He asked everybody in London and Liverpool and freaking Blackpool and every pool in your house. He asked everybody what the hell's going on. And they were like, whoa, I'm now sewn on your mind and I want to be with you. And I hope that when we get older that we can be together. But Keith Richards was like, no, I am the guy who is a mastermind. And after that, everything actually came out all cool. There was no freaking place to go negative.
They were fighting the whole time. But
times were just
in case you didn't
better
know,
and greater.
In case you're just a Lenny and you were born in 2006, or in case you're a Lenny and you were born in 1998, we are going to give you a rundown. And let me tell you, Lenny's, we love you. So go on. We'll teach you how to do this. You go on your Spotify right here. And then you open up Rolling Stones. And you go down to their 80s albums, which starts with Emotional Rescue.
Does it really?
Which is probably the best rock and roll album that ever exists.
Of all time?
And
no, I disagree, but it's one of the best.
Well,
it's one of the most...
It's got hits like...
100,000 best. It's probably in my top
So
100,000.
it doesn't have
So,
any hits. It's just good.
Yeah.
So Tattoo
That's what I
You
was
came
saying.
out in 1981.
I was saying that I've tattooed little girls with some
That has
lube
Start Me
inside
Up.
them.
Start Me Up. What's better than Start Me Up? And then Waiting on a Friend to close the album. If you had the album and you started it up with Start Me Up and then you closed with Waiting on a Friend, I salute you because that must have felt good. 1982, we had Still Life.
On a friend.
Still Life does not get talked about enough. So let me play you a little plot of that. A little plot of Land from the Rolling Stones in 1982. Wait, what the heck? This is a live album. No wonder it doesn't get talked about.
And just like it was talking about, Waiting on a Friend was way back in the 60s.
Undercover was 1983. And Dirty Work is 1986.
Dirty Work.
And then
Work.
Still Wheels is 1989.
1989.
So those three albums, if you heard that, if you bought all three of those albums back to back to back to back.
But if you bought Voodoo Lounge in 94, then you are the master. Because now you know
Lounge
that
after
Love
that,
is Strong, and that was one of the biggest hits that they ever made in the
You are the
90s of
master.
all time. Because I remember when Love was Strong, it was okay.
It was
But back
amazing.
then, I think that was the biggest hit that they ever made. I'm pretty sure.
Damn
And it's
good.
true, it's true.
It's still so
It's
good.
It's true
Listen.
and through.
That's right, baby. What you know about that? Oh, you didn't know? Well, go ahead on Spotify, look up Rolling Stones,
It
Voodoo
sounds
Lounge
just like
from
they were back in the
1994,
60s.
and listen to their hit, Love is Strong.
But we are talking about how Halloween can affect you. And what are you going to do with Halloween? And ladies, are you going to strip down? And
We were talking about the Rolling Stones fighting.
What was I saying? I don't know. I forgot.
Halloween can affect you. Can Halloween affect you?
Can Halloween affect the mind? I don't really know because
Halloween affect the mind.
it could affect mentally because people get caught up in this so-called, Vandega
We'll
of
get
the
back
mind,
to that.
and
But before we got to wrap
they
this up.
want to be
Okay, so
in
Rolling Stones also put out
the
Flashpoint in
sucked up-
1991, Voodoo Lounge in 1994, Striped in 1995,
Striped.
and then Bridges to Babylon in 1997.
Bridges
That
to
whole
Babylon.
time from the 80s, from Emotional
80s.
Rescue to 1997, Keith Richards and Mick Jagger were subsequently fighting the whole entire time.
Yep.
Yep.
Then they were, and they didn't have a clue what was going on.
And Bridges of Babylon, they actually filmed it separately. Mick Jagger came in and did his half of the album, which was a CD by then, his whole CD, and then Keith Richards did his whole CD. And they each got a CD.
What CD made more success? We don't know. That's what the Running Gunner Show is asking. How many CDs can they make to be successful? Too many. But what about the Beatles? They were before them, and they were a little bit more successful, and it only took them 5 years less.
Oh, John Lennon was rolling over in his grave when he heard this song, and he wished that he was alive in 1997.
97.
John Lennon, we know that you wished you were alive in 1997, so I salute you with Sir Mick Jagger's best friend, Keith Richards.
Yeah.
You just gotta say it anyway. I just need to hear those words for me.
Yeah, everybody. All right. It's Wednesday, and we got a hump of the
It's
day
a
for
Wednesday
you.
morning hump of the day.
The hump of the day is How did Chris
Cornell die? Nobody really knows. Was it asphyxiated? Was it
Did he owe his bookie money?
was his ass unfixed in his mind? Was his freaking retarded mental death to the bookie? We got an analyst right here. We got a special analyst and a special guest right now.
Can we do it?
And he's going to
show
tell
mice?
us exactly how everything happened.
Can you show mice?
Well, basically, I think the band came in and asked Chris Cornell to sing a song a certain way, and he wouldn't want to sing that song that certain way. So basically, I think that they might have choked him, strangled him, something, and just made him look like he hung himself. And,
What was the reason they choked him and strangled
What was the
him?
reason they choked and strangled him?
well, He didn't
Was this the
want to
reason?
play. He did not want to play and sing the song they wanted him to. So Shoe Mice here. So basically, he was murdered. I don't think he committed suicide. Basically, it's all just a big conspiracy. But don't listen to me. I'm only Shoe Mice. Thanks, basically.
Yeah, so that was a special guest episode today, everybody. And now we know how many people have died, how many people have survived, and the Holocaust was real. And so do not make fun of it, because I don't make fun of it. I think it was a real thing, and some people out there do. But I'm telling you the truth that it is not worth making fun of, because you will get hated on, you will get bombed on. So everything that we are talking about here is the truth, just like that.
I got a sip to crack.
Basically.
Well, you know what? This is the segment of the show where we talk about what we have a sip to crack to.
Do it really?
And let me tell you what I got a sip to crack. Who started heavy metal? That's the debate.
Who started
You know, some
heavy
people are going around
metal?
saying that Metallica started heavy metal.
Metallica? Wow, those people are going around with
Some
the
people
wrong
are going
idea.
around saying that Black Sabbath started heavy
Wow,
metal.
those people are going around with the wrong idea.
Well, I got a sip to crack about that.
Well, I can tell you, Gunnar, I've been listening to heavy metal for a long, long time.
Me too.
And I've been listening to heavy metal since the birth of heavy metal. And I do agree that there was a guy named Ozzy Osbourne who pretty much was the god of heavy metal, but there are still so many groups that
So many,
influenced
the 60s.
Ozzy Osbourne, and they were called Deep Purple,
Deep Purple.
The Beatles, The Rolling Stones,
Iron Butterfly.
The Animals,
Steppenwolf.
Iron Butterfly.
Steppenwolf.
Yeah. Born to be wild.
So that's why I had a sip to crack with those statements, because the truth
So
is
the truth is, it's hard to figure out who actually made up metal, because maybe
Made it up.
Ozzy could have made it up, but there were times before where there was actual things going down
my brain.
by
I just
Iron
remembered.
Butterfly that were creating metal. So I would go in this one. I'm gonna go with Iron Butterfly. I'm gonna stick with it, and I buzzed in. I'm not shutting down. Iron
Right.
Butterfly created it.
Yes. Iron Butterfly is the creator of heavy metal.
Do you agree?
Yeah. Because
Right
they
on.
had the first
Cheers.
14-minute hit. That was number one.
Sure, nigga. Or
Everybody's trying to achieve
Yeah.
that 14-minute number one hit.
yeah, don't they all? Because everybody
Yeah.
wants to achieve that 14-minute hit. Actually, it was almost 20 minutes. It was about 19 plus minutes. It was a
Yeah.
long ass hit.
Yeah,
And then it
that's
had
the bar.
It had piano. It had freaking drums, of course. 'Cause
Anybody.
drums carry the
Listen.
metal, and the guitar is what
You must
creates
play
the metal.
this way.
So the drum, okay, the most two instruments that are essential in metal is the drums and the
The
guitar.
electric guitar.
But the electric guitar has to carry on and carry over. But of course, the drums has to always
Yeah,
carry the
and it could be
rhythm
classical
and take
guitar.
the rhythm over. It doesn't really matter which side you're looking
drums
at. It's all the
And
same.
guitar. It's not, drum and bass like,
Yeah,
other things
it's
are.
not like it's not
It's
like
drum and electric guitar or
exactly
classical guitar.
exactly.
And in fact,
We're talking about heavy metal here, so that's what I'm telling you. I'm giving you the factors that are true.
Bach started heavy metal. Beethoven started heavy metal. Mozart started heavy metal, if you want to think about it that way. Because
disagree.
these guys, these classical guitar players, learned by playing Brahms and Schubert and Schumann. That was their first, is that they know how to read notes, classical notes, and play symphonies, essentially. And if you play piano and you translated that to guitar, then let me tell you, you are a heavy metal guitar player. And so if you want to get technicalities of technicisms, speakingly,
The kisms. Are you talking about the how many
Then you might as
milligrams can be
well
played on the
say-
electric guitar at the same time? What is the factor that can blow out an amp?
Mozart started it all.
So how many kilograms can we play the guitar at the same time? And we are
Mozart
just talking about
is
Mozart is the man. He was the man.
Who
He actually started
heavy metal. Mozart started heavy
I
metal.
disagree, and I agree that Mozart started music.
Well, we actually want to ask. We're going to pull in a favor from our friend Showmice and ask him who started heavy metal.
Show Mice, tell us what happened.
Show mice here. So basically, the gunner is right, and metal came from Mozart and classical music.
Did it really? So I'm
Because
full of
if
shit.
you listen to it, it's the heaviest thing you'll ever hear. And as far as basically newer heavy metal, I would say that it all evolved, but basically Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath made it as metal as it did today. Basically, that's basically all I have to basically
Hey,
say.
Showmice.
So what?
Hold on, wait.
Show
Can I
Mice
ask
is
Showmice a
saying.
question?
Well, Show Mice is saying that Ozzy Osbourne
Yeah.
created it, and I agree with Show Mice. Because I actually agree, and I'm thinking that was the beginning. And this is talking about the early '60s when Ozzy Osbourne and his best group, who created Iron Man, who created Paranoid,
Basically, Black Sabbath.
and they did everything. So I agree with Show Mice about the creators of metal.
Hey, Showmice.
Pretty much.
Can you drink this shoe polish for us?
Show mice here. Let me see it.
All right. Show Mice is about to drink shoe polish in front of us.
Here we go, everybody. Let's see, Showmice.
Oh, God.
Basically, gump. Basically, gump.
Yeah.
Gump.
Oh.
Basically, gump.
Oh,
Are you all right,
I'm
man?
gonna be
Gum.
sick.
Basically, I have to throw up. Basically, goodbye. Basically.
You held it down.
Man,
Showmice held it
that
down.
was crazy. I can't believe he held it down. He held down the shoe polish and all that crazy stuff.
Woo! All right, Runner, why don't you tell us? John Candy versus Chris Farley. Or are they a tag team versus
Wait a minute.
the world?
Are you
Better
talking
take
about skinny versus skinnier? No, you're talking about the two best
Chubby.
comedians that were not too skinny. So I love both of these guys. I think they are both creative. Man, there are so much stuff to say. Stuff is going wild. Man, I don't even know.
Well, we'll talk about
John
the-
Candy's been in every movie with Chevy freaking Chase when Chevy Chase was on fire, and Chris Farley was on everything when he was on fire. Chris Farley was the man back in the early to mid 90s. Chris Farley was the funniest guy ever. Before a little guy came out called this guy came out of Canada, and his name was Jim Carrey. Yeah, Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey came out. That was after. But before that, there was a guy named Chris Farley, and before Chris Farley, there was a guy named John Candy. John Candy was even in Christmas, or he's in Vacation. National Lampoon's Vacation,
yeah.
Part 1. So he was the nervous guard. If you don't know who he was a nervous guard, and he was so funny. But then he made a movie called Uncle Buck, which took over the world.
It's the best movie
It
ever
was
made.
pretty freaking funny.
Greatest movie
I
ever
think he
made.
was super cool, and all he did was be cool and be hilarious. And there was nobody to his level at this point. He was just super cool and super ready, and he was the dopest guy ever. And I thought he was amazing. I just thought he would never die. And so when John Candy died, it was a big tragedy to me in my mind.
Me too.
But then, a few years later, Chris Farley died. And John Candy was actually a little bit older than Chris Farley. But John Candy was a bigger guy.
Yeah,
And
he's like
Chris Farley was a
6'2".
big guy, too.
The dude is
6'2",
only like
100 million
5'9".
pounds. They were both 100 million pounds, and we love them both. But we missed out. If you guys missed out on them, then you don't know what you're missing. So go look up all their shows, everything they ever did, and you will know what is really going on. And this is for real, from Runner, Gunner Show, and the Mayans.
Yeah, John Candy, he also was supposed to be in the original Ghostbusters, but they said that he was too fat and he was too chubby to fit inside the costumes, so they fired him. Little did they know that he was going to make Uncle Buck a little later, and biggity bam, That's the greatest movie of all time. He
Yep,
wasn't in
yep.
Three Amigos, which is actually the truest
That
greatest
is
movie of all time.
that is kind of jacked up because
But he was chubby.
it was three of his friends, and he was too big to. The horse would have freaking fell. You know, the horse would have fell.
That's true.
He would have killed the horse.
When he was in
this guy
Brewster's Millions,
You're talking about a
with
6
Richard
foot
Pryor.
plus guy, 300,000 pounds plus. He was like a sumo sitting on a horse. You see, so
Great
now,
Outdoors, Great Outdoors. What about that one?
The Great Outdoors.
is
The Great Outdoors. Yeah.
Great Outdoors was the greatest.
You know what the Great Outdoors reminds me of? Cheech and Chong's movie Up in Smoke, and then
Yeah,
Strawberry.
me too.
Do you know who Strawberry is?
Yeah.
Strawberry is
Let's go the same way,
Cheech's
huh?
cousin.
Down with that.
Strawberry is Cheech's cousin, and then Cheech's cousin is like a psycho, right?
Oh.
And Cheech's cousin has the hookup for marijuana. So that the whole time they're looking for weed, and then he goes to Strawberry, and Strawberry goes outside and he goes, "The Great Outdoors."
Yeah.
And that's
What about
why
Stripes?
it reminds me of that.
Remember John Candy in Stripes? He was the craziest
I
one.
remember. John Candy was always the best. He was the
He
funniest.
snatches all those girls' tops.
Of course he did.
He's the ox.
Yeah.
Ox. And then he's gonna kill that guy, the killer. He's like, I had just about enough of you.
I've had enough of you.
Oh, so I actually saw a John Candy skit from SCTV where he plays Peppy Longstocking. And
Peppy. Pippi or Peppy?
You remember
What?
Pippi Longstocking from back in
Of
the
course
day?
I do.
So John Candy made fun of that. And he was called Peppy Longstocking,
I remember
a
Pippi.
boy. And all he did was kill his friends with his strength.
That is amazing.
And like little kids that come pick on him and they'd be like, "Ha, you're too big to play with us." And then he'd be like, "Well, I'll just grab all of you and throw you over a cliff."
Wow. That sounds like it was the good old amazing days, and now it doesn't
YouTube
happen
John
these
Candy,
days.
Peppy Longstocking. And you'll see all the videos I'm
YouTube
talking
it.
about.
Listen to Gunner. Gunners.
Oh, but Chris Farley
Amazing.
was my hero growing up.
I
was
love Chris Farley. That's what I'm saying too. I was
extremely
saying the
disheartened when
same
he
thing.
died.
Hell yeah.
My
Who
sister
was it?
told me she told me she was like, Chris Farley died today, and I was sad. I mean, I wasn't sad. I didn't cry. I was just like, whoa, man,
Yes, you
that's so
did.
stupid. What a stupid guy. And then I realized that it kind of did. It was pretty apparent that he was on cocaine the whole time. How else could he be doing such freaking athleticism for a fat guy? But of all his movies, his very last one, I thought was the best,
97.
which made me think that his movies had just begun. If he would have lived, his humor would have just begun. It was the beginning of something brand
Something
new.
greater than himself?
Yeah,
Well, of course. I remember when his
he should have got a wife. If
he
he had
should
a
have got a
wife
wife.
who
He should have
stopped him
just
from doing all that destructive behavior,
he should have got a woman who could stop him from being a retard.
and then
Because
instead
he was
liked
already
cocaine.
jacked.
But
Well,
that's the
That's the Belushi.
that's what happens. That's the Belushi. That's what happens when you
Hey.
Belushi.
Shit ain't gonna stop.
It's not going to stop. But Chris Farley made a
So once
movie
the beginning
called
goes-
Almost Heroes with Matthew Perry, who was also a drug addict.
And that was his last movie of all
Imagine-
time. I know what that is.
Imagine the drugs that must have been done on the back
But
set of
Matthew
that
Perry
movie.
was more of an alcoholic than a drug addict, actually.
So Chris Farley was
But
pounding
they
booze
were-
and doing coke with Matthew Perry
Yeah,
during the production
they
of
were
that
both
movie.
doing coke and
Yep.
pounding. Damn,
Lots of it.
that must have been beautiful, right? I
Yeah.
wish I was on the set.
A couple of Sheens. Carly Sheens. I mean, Charlie Machines.
I mean,
You know what I mean.
Charlie,
Wrap your tool, don't get AIDS.
como quién?
Eh?
I don't know. Como?
¿Cómo se
But
llama ese
yeah,
usted?
so they are both great actors, and Chris Farley is probably one of the better ones because I do love him myself. Like one of his last movies was Beverly Hills Ninja. I think that came out about '93, and he plays a white guy flipping around, fat white guy flipping around, just kicking people like he's the madman. And he learned everything from freaking Toshiba or something like that. And he kicked all their butts, and he was the best guy ever. And that's why people don't realize
Chris
that-
Farley was the best.
Chris Farley was funny as
He
hell.
slapped him
But
on
John
the
Candy
fish.
was also funny because he did Uncle Buck. So I'm not going to give Uncle Buck no credit
Uncle
because
Buck was better
Uncle
than the
Buck
Beatles.
was better than every movie Chris Farley ever made.
It's better than anything ever. Better than it should have won an Academy
If you guys
Award.
don't think that Chris Farley is better, look at Uncle Buck and realize that is hilarious.
Uncle Buck is the greatest movie of all time.
Gunner, so you have seen Uncle Buck.
Only 1,000 times, but
I've
also
seen it.
Stripes is good too.
Stripes is also good
But-
with Bill Murray.
But you don't get so much of John Candy. Like there should have been more John Candy in Stripes.
I think John Candy is candy when it
And
comes
Uncle
to
Buck,
acting.
though. Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
He is so
He
funny.
made a lot of good cameos in Home Alone. And
He did everything.
Movies called Delirious and Going Berserk, and he did the Brewster's Millions. But it all boils down to Uncle Buck. And if you haven't seen Uncle Buck, that is movie history.
Yep,
That is
best
the
movie
bar
I've ever
in
seen
life.
ever by a fat guy.
Make a movie better than Uncle Buck, and we'll talk. Runner and Gunner will talk to you. We'll talk.
The Buck of Uncles.
Anyways, and then Chris Farley make a
Chris Farley makes all the greatest movies of all time.
Tommy
Just-
Boy, Black Sheep, Almost Heroes, as we
Both
talked
of those.
about.
Both of those.
Ninja,
Beverly Hills Ninja.
He has also made some cameos in like Coneheads.
And then the one you were talking about with the other drunk ass guy
Oh yeah,
where they're
freaking
looking for the
stupid
land.
Joe Biden.
Yeah, him versus Joe Biden, that movie.
Yeah, Chris Farley versus Joe Biden. Who do you want for president?
Anyway, so in between the two of them, I still got to go with my man.
And we're also condoning alcohol because we love to drink.
John Candy, you are the best actor back in your days in the 80s. And I love you a lot and I respect you. God rest your soul. But I'm going with Chris Farley.
Oh!
Because I think Chris Farley is the best back then. Between them two. And I love you, Chris Farley, more than I can speak of right now. Because you are the down guy. You're a big guy. And you died for a reason.
Well,
The reason is,
I am going
every
for
season is sniffing.
John Candy. Gunner is for John Candy.
What?
Just because of Uncle Buck. Just because I love Going Berserk. I love Delirious. I love The Great Outdoors. I love freaking Stripes.
Street Zipes.
I
So
love
you're going against-
SCTV.
Wait a minute.
SCTV was so great. But let me tell you, one day,
You're going against the
in
Saturday Night Live guy.
1994,
You're
John
going against,
Candy.
You're going against Down by the
he
River.
owned a Canadian football team because he was trying to make the Canadian football team a hit.
He was trying to be a lineman.
So he put all his money into this Canadian football team, which he owned. And then the stocks for their Canadian
If
football
I
team
own a van
went
down
down
by the river.
to 0.
You don't know what I'm
And
talking
he
about.
became depressed. And that is what killed John Candy. Was his Canadian football team not making it into the big leagues.
That did not kill him, and I super disagree. All I got to tell you is
I
that,
saw the documentary.
and I still disagree that did not kill him.
Oh,
I just think that
obviously it was the cheeseburger and donuts and cigars.
I think that to tell you the truth, I think Chris Farley was automatically hilarious, and I think Chris Farley has way more talent. And there's nothing, you know. John Candy is really great. He made Uncle Buck, and Uncle Buck is a way better and way successful movie, and I love that movie.
Chris Farley?
Don't get me wrong, I love him, but Chris
was doing
Farley,
lots of drugs.
Chris Farley is the best of all time.
Lots of
out
famous
fat guys.
actors.
Out of big guys.
And one day he was doing so many drugs and eating so much.
I love Chris Farley.
and drinking so much
I'm not gonna lie. Chris Farley is like opening up a glosh.
that his big fat heart stopped.
Chris Farley is the best of
Happy Halloween.
of the 90s. So rest your souls, Chris Farley and John Candy.
You can monster mash and do my graveyard smash. called it a lie.
Both you fat fucks, rest in peace.
Too nice here. So basically, this is the end of the show. Basically. So basically, go away. Stop listening. Basically, goodbye. Goodbye. Basically.
Oh wait, we still got
Wait a
more.
minute. We got about John Candy had candy and Chris Farley had
No,
sparrows.
wait. When we
Wait,
come back, we're going to talk about the first time you ever
First
got
time
drunk.
you ever got drunk.
What was
When
it
was
like, and how was it like? After these
When were
commercial breaks.
So basically, I lied. All right, everybody, I'm coming out here to tell you need to listen to the Runner and Gunner show every Wednesday on
Spotify and
YouTube and Spotify, and every Monday morning on Spotify.
Spotify and YouTube.
Spotify your life with the high life of the Runner and Gunner show.
Going in live. Yo, what's up, all the ladies? I mean, hey, are we back in this? Okay, let me sit down and
Yep.
talk about.
We're talking about the first time you ever got drunk.
That was
So
okay.
What is the first time you ever got drunk, Runner?
I cannot recall. You should go first.
All right. I'm going to tell you about the first time I ever got drunk. First time I ever got drunk, I was on the lake. I was with my cousins. They were from Mexico. And they took me to their tangerine farm on the lake. And they had this, what is it, like skin, like, what do they call it, a flask, a thermos. And it was filled, they said, with tangerines. Little did I know that it was fermented tangerines. But it tasted just like orange juice. So I drank the whole thing.
See, but was Orlando James actually guilty or was he innocent? Did you say it just tasted like OJ? So I'm not even sure if Orlando James was actually
I was talking
guilty
about
or
my first time being
Nice.
sipped.
Oh no.
My first time being sipped. My
It was
cousin
like
from-
OJ's when OJ got crazy. So are you saying that you got sipped and then you turned into OJ and you wanted to just kill
No,
everybody
that's
inside,
not- that's
or
nothing
you wanted
what
to
I'm
make
saying.
friends with everybody like the real OJ that I know? He is my best friend,
I'm
and I love
saying-
OJ, and I think he is innocent at all times, except for anybody who is not white, which is okay. If it was a Mexican woman, he would not have killed her, but just because it's OJ, he is not innocent. So what were you saying, that you were innocent as OJ or something like that?
I actually almost forgot what I was saying. But what I was saying was that the first time I ever got drunk, I was with my cousins from Mexico, and they took me to their tangerine farm by this river.
So what
that they
year
had.
was your age and what age was your year?
All right, it was 1994.
What age was your year and year
I
was your
8
age?
years old.
That was the first time you got drunk at 8? Ocho?
Yeah.
Well,
My
you're ahead of
cousins
me.
from
Then.
Mexico.
If that's true, then you're ahead of me.
They took me to the tangerine farm, and they gave me skins. What are they called? Thermos. Canteens. They gave me canteens of leather. And
Cantinas?
they're filled with
Bananas.
orange juice.
So they say.
And I sipped the orange juice, and guess what? The biggity bam, it tasted like orange juice. So I sipped the whole thing.
So are you talking about like actual alcohol, or just
Yeah, it wasn't orange
vitamin
juice.
C that you have
It was
taken in your life?
fermented tangerines
Was it really?
in a sack.
For
Yeah.
reals? This is real deal shit.
This is it. They gave me fermented tangerines in a sack. And they told me to sip.
And how old were your cousins back then?
One was 16. The oldest one was 16.
And how old were you?
I was
About
8.
4 or 5?
was
8? 8?
Yeah.
Oh my
But my other
Lord.
cousins was 7. And that's it. My cousins were 7. The
Man.
girl who was 10, but she wasn't cool.
So that was your first time drinking, and was it? What about your first time getting drunk? So was that the first time drinking and getting drunk?
Yeah.
Or was that both in one?
Yeah, because we kept drinking sacks. We kept drinking sacks of tangerines.
Okay.
That wasn't the only one. There was just a grip of sacks.
Yeah.
They were like these canteens. It was like, it wasn't a canteen. There was no plastic, you know, it was just skins. And so we sipped all these skins, and we got sipped. And we didn't even know what we were doing. We were just drinking orange juice, you know? And so that's how we got sipped. That's how I got sipped the very first time.
That was the first time you ever got sipped.
Yep. How about you, runner? What's the first time you ever got sipped? Oh, how about you, Show Mice?
Show Mice has a
Show
question.
Mice here, and I
Ask
just
him.
have a question for you. Were you hungover for the first time when you were that young the next day? After all that orange juice?
Well, of course, Show Mice. I was absolutely hungover all the rest of the day.
So you felt your first hungover at the same time you got first sip.
Yeah, the first time I ever got sipped was also the very first
And
time
you were
I ever
8 years
felt
old? This is
a
when you were
hangover.
8 years old. Man.
At 8 years old, I found out what a hangover is.
Shoe Mice here. Did your mom think you were sick with the flu?
My mom thought I was a sipper.
So-
Shoe Mice here. I once ate a cactus.
How about you, Show Mice? You eat cactuses.
Shoe
What's the
Mice
first
here.
time you hungover?
The first time I drank alcohol was when I was 2 months old, and my mother put it in my bottle,
goodness.
and she fed it to me.
Yeah.
Oh, that
That is
explains
horrible.
a lot.
But that is what happened way back when.
Yeah, because I
And now-
remember your videos
Wow.
where you chug a
Down
bottle
to
of Jack
be the
Daniels.
guy who-
Shoe Mice here. Yes, I practiced pretty young. Thank you, Shoe Mice.
I think I saw you chug a bottle of
the
arsenic.
ass and
Shoe
tosses
Mice,
the pack.
I'll put anything in my mouth you want me to, Shoe Mice.
Oh, I don't know if that's an achievement, Show Mice.
Yeah, but me,
Shoe Mice
achieving
thanks.
everything.
It's for runner and gunner. We achieve everything. You know why? We put our minds to it, and our strength, and our God-given muscles and body.
For the love of God, let's keep the things ahead of time that are kicking ass and making more money. That's what it's about.
All right,
And
everybody.
everybody else.
What is the first time you guys drank out there?
Levels.
What is the first time you got drunk out there? Not only did you drink, but what is the first time you
Me
got
or
drunk?
them? I
and
haven't even
drank?
talked.
Shoe
Runner.
Mice, when was the first time you chugged a whole bottle of vodka, Shoe Mice? I did it when I was 7 months. Shoe Mice.
Oh my goodness, Show Mice.
Oh, Shoe Mice did it too young. That was way too young, and
Can't feel good.
I haven't done it since I was a young cat myself.
Oh
But
my goodness.
now I
Alright.
need a crack. Now all I can say is
Well,
I need a crack.
Show Mice.
Thank you, Shoe Mice.
Are you all right?
Shoe Mice here, yes. As far as all the alcohol, I'm still up in my noggin. Shoe Mice.
All right, Show Mice. Oh, is there any more sips
And
left?
it is time. Wait, you need one too?
Heck yeah.
Dude, you need one too.
I'll take it.
There you go. I gotta get one myself.
Oh, he got the double crack of girls.
Shoe Mice, sharing is
I'll get
caring.
crack another
I
one.
once shared a cactus, Shoe Mice, with a homeless man, Shoe Mice.
What the
What
fuck?
the heck is going on with this girl? Oh, it's frozen.
It's frozen.
Yes.
I froze like
You got
clothes.
the double crack. Oh.
Shoe Mice, I once spent 3 years living in a
I'm cool
freezer.
now.
Shoe Mice.
Show Mice. One time I saw you drink a bag of Salvaditos.
And I drank a 2-liter one time of beer to myself. So everybody has done something that will make you feel equivalent to going to a whole different level. But at the same time, I've always got those ladies. And those ladies have always loved me. And I don't mind them coming in. They don't mind me coming in. So everything is going back to the beginning. 1951,000 years ago. And then they finally said, you could have all those girls if you really try. I was like, what, baby? And they said, no, you can't deny. Easily, they took me in and they said, hey, you got the gift within. And I popped a cork. And I said, I will sip your beer, man.
All right, everybody. That is Wednesday for you, and we are sipped
And that is
on
the
a
Wednesday morning sips. If you could get a grip in your mind and collect it in time, then you will be like a freaking shrine. So let's all get up and be upright and talk about how dope yourself is every day and every night. And that was always true. That's how I felt about my own self and about the other selves that were selfish in their wealth and two behind us.
Shoe
Not
Nice here, and happy hump day to you. That does not mean go hump camel. I did that once. Did not turn out good. Shoe Nice here. Goodbye, Shoe Nice.
Yeah, thank you to the special guest Shoe Nice, and thank you to everybody else who is doing it right in their mind. Come on, everybody, get down with it. This is the new shit that you gotta feel. It's a brand freaking new 2022.
Shoe Mice. My
And
name
don't
is
you
Shoe
guys forget
Mice.
that when you listen to the Runner and Gunner Show, you could also comment at the Runner and Gunner Show
And you can say
at
anything you want.
gmail.com. Just email me. And also the hump of the day
Email
was
us.
who started heavy metal. Do you know who started heavy metal officially? Well,
We
then
already
go
talked
ahead and
about that
comment
subject,
us.
but we already kicked button on the
Shoe
subject.
Mice.
So let us
You grow
reiterate.
your cactus
You
out
said
and
us.
Just
make
so
it.
they could
Who
have
you think
their
started
own
Shoe
heavy
Mice
metal
here. Yes,
opinion.
at the
Shoe Mice.
runnerandgunnershow.com or the runnerandgunnershow.com at gmail.com.
So
The Runner
that's
and Gunner Show at
www.runnershow.com.
gmail.com.
So get down with it and realize it, and we are the real things that you gotta recognize. We are here every day for your opinions and what you gotta say, and we will love you guys no matter what. Through the skies of gray, blue, yellow, green, red, orange, and all the time we're looking for your opinions inside our apps.
So
Yeah.
basically,
Check us out.
Basically, we love you.
We're here to help you, and all we got to say is if we could help you with one thing, we
One
got to say that you
thing.
need to think of yourself as a better being. You need
Better
to
be
think of your position as being where it wants to be, and you need to have a heart to give to each other, and you need to forgive those.
So it's
And if
Gunner
you
is
can't
saying-
forgive anybody, then how could you forgive yourself? So just forgive yourself.
So what Gunner's saying is
forgive
you are
others.
who you are, and you
Be
are where
free.
you're at, and
Love
you're at
life.
what you love,
Love
and you're
being a
love
human
where you're
being.
at.
You're here. You already
If
won
you're
the
far
championship.
away and don't know where you are, then you better find your placement in life.
Just
Come
let
on,
your
lovers.
jawbone relax.
You guys
and
gotta
need
stay
to say
with us.
anything other than
The Runner
what the
Gunner
Runner and
Show
Gunner
is
Show is
here,
saying
and
to
it's
you.
live, and it's
that
real.
you are great, and we're alive, and it's real.
And that's what we want to say.
That's what we want
And
to
things
say.
are going down every day, and we love the freaking audience that wants to stick with it. And we know that you guys are gonna keep following and following and following. But that's what's gonna happen with perfection. So follow us, and you will see perfection within your
Perfection,
lives
baby.
and within placements that we go. And this is not only the beginning of the show or the end, but it's just the way it goes down.
It's the way it
Everybody
goes.
is the way they are because we want them to be cooler than who they are.
All right,
And
everybody.
we love you guys.
You have an amazing Wednesday, and we'll be there.
Solid.
Runner and Gunner, not responsible for any injuries, postponements, or collateral that may occur during or post segments of our entirety of the show. You are now or have been listening to. We would like to add any involvement with similar subjects in the show are completely coincidental and may or may not be facts. We would also like to thank you, Lennox.